Hello, everyone, and welcome to this informational session on the upcoming massive open online course, Assessment of English Language Learners. We're thrilled to be here. My name is Kate, and I'll be with you today as your host. I'm joined by my colleague behind the scenes, Amanda, who will be serving as moderator to help answer your questions and respond to your comments during today's session. Today, we'll be hearing from presenter Caitlin Downs about the exciting new course that will be launched soon. So let's get started. So here's what to expect today. The session will be about 45 minutes long and aligned with the new and exciting massive open online course, Assessment of English Language Learners, which is part of the U.S. Department of State's Open Program Online Professional English Network Program. The presenter will present the material, and I, as your host, will ask questions and make comments as well. But we really hope to hear from you, our audience, so that we can address all your ideas, thoughts, and questions. So please do share your thoughts in the comments or the chat box. So before we begin, we'd like to hear from you. Please introduce yourself in the comments section or the chat box. Let us know your name, country, and whether you've ever taken an online course before. Let's see, I see Magdalena who says hello from Tanzania. Great to have you here. Asus says she's here from Myanmar. Great to have you. Tarish is also here. Great to see you. And also let us know if you've ever taken an online course before. Maybe tell us which online course you've taken. Let us know. I know that Firas is here, and I know he definitely has taken an online course before. Let's see, Catherine is here from Bolivia. Chuin is here from Thailand. Monir is here from Morocco. Tunzala is here from Azerbaijan, and yes, he's taken an online course. Great. Ibrahim is here from Egypt, and he's taken many courses. That's wonderful. Tag is saying hello from the Philippines. Waihu is here from Indonesia. Maggie is here. Tatiana from Ukraine, first time taking a course. That's awesome, great. Ari is here from South Korea, and she's taken an online course in education. And lots of other people are here. Oh, great, Firas from Iraq, and he's taken tens of online courses before. That's amazing. Congratulations to you. Thanks for being here. Okay, yes, thank you. Continue to introduce yourself in the comments or the chat. It's wonderful to have each of you here. So we want to make sure that you're able to enroll in the course, of course. So open enrollment began on April 5th. So if you haven't already, go ahead and register now. The course will begin on May 3rd. Enroll today at the link listed here and on the here on the slide, and also in the chat box. And we also want to let you know that by participating in this MOOC, you have the opportunity to receive a digital badge and certificate. MOOC participants who successfully complete all of the required activities with a grade of 70% or higher will earn this digital badge as well as a certificate. And that is definitely something that you can share on social media or with your administrators and directors. And now we're pleased to introduce our presenter, Caitlin Downs. Caitlin is a TESOL technical officer at FHI 360, supporting the Online Professional English Network. She has a Master of Science in Education in International Educational Development from the University of Pennsylvania, and several years of experience working to develop online courses for English language educators and professionals worldwide. Welcome, Caitlin. We're so happy to have you here with us today.
Thank you, Kate. And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone from wherever in the world you're joining us today. It's so nice to be able to join you from Washington, D.C. to talk about the Assessment of English Language Learners MOOC that will launch on May 3rd. This course was initially created as a regional course for the open program. And because of the immense interest in this topic from teachers around the world and the applicability of the topic in global contexts, it has been adapted into a MOOC for a wider audience. This means that you will likely get to interact with thousands of participants from all around the world. We're so excited that more of you will be able to join this course, interact with like-minded colleagues from around the world, and use these materials to strengthen your teaching and professional development in your local context. Today, we will start with an overview of the course, including the course description and the module topics. Then we'll talk about some of the unique features of this particular MOOC. We'll then move into some more detailed information about the modules themselves, including the required and optional tasks per module. And finally, we'll end with some tips for success. But first, let's hear from you. What do you expect to learn in this MOOC, Assessment of English Language Learners?
Yeah, what do you think, everyone? What do you expect to learn from this course, Assessment of English Language Learners? And we're still seeing lots of great people saying, giving us their greetings. Maria from Guatemala, Fatima from Pakistan, Zara from Azerbaijan, and Zahid from Pakistan. Okay, wonderful. So what do you think, everybody? What do you expect to learn in this MOOC? What do you think? Please go ahead and write your comments in the chat box or the comment section. Let's see, Melchor says he expects to learn trends in assessment. Great. Ways to assess remotely from Puta Chart. Sarah says, I expect to learn how to create rubrics and online Ricardo says authentic assessment in an online environment. Great. Different types of assessment from Iris. And to evaluate myself and my students, that's great. Asu says new ways to promote assessment. And another response, learn how to assess and develop correct evaluations. So those are wonderful, great responses. So many coming in, it's hard for me to read all of them. So thank you for sharing all of that, everybody.
It's so exciting to hear what everyone's excited about, what you hope this MOOC will cover. It sounds like you are all in luck because a lot of these topics will be discussed in the MOOC. This course is designed to help English language educators improve their teaching practices by creating courses that have engaging, practical assessments tied to learning outcomes. Participants will learn about the principles of backward design and explore the main types of assessment for use in language teaching and learning. They will gain an understanding of how to select appropriate assessment types for different groups of students, and they will also have a chance to practice these new assessment techniques and reflect on the results during the course. So if any of that sounds beneficial to you or relevant to your context, be sure to enroll today. This MOOC is self-paced, which means that you are able to complete it on your own time according to your own schedule, as long as you complete it before the course end date of July 26th. As soon as you complete the required tasks in each module, the next module will open, meaning you don't have to wait for an assignment to be graded by an instructor. We will talk about the required tasks for each of the modules a little later in this presentation. But this self-paced version of the course allows you to complete all course material on your own time and at your own speed. There are 5 modules total in this course, each requiring about 3 to 5 hours of work. That work comes in the form of watching videos, completing readings, taking comprehension check quizzes, contributing to discussion boards, and building a project toolkit. There is so much material and so much to learn. The course will be open from May 3rd until July 26th, so you can complete the 5 modules at any point during that time period. You could even complete the entire course in one sitting if you wanted. But this structure allows for the flexibility you might need to complete your professional development opportunity. Another really exciting aspect of the course is that all materials are open educational resources, or OER. But before I tell you why that's such good news, let's hear from you. Do you know what open educational resources are?
Yeah, let us know, everybody. What are open educational resources? Maybe you've already used them before, or you know a little bit about them, or maybe this is a new term for you, so feel free to just guess at what it is. How would you define what open educational resources are? What do you think? All right, let's see. Ganita says they are free. Great. What other ways would you maybe define open educational resources? And like I said, you can feel free to guess if this is a new term for you. Accessible anytime, anywhere from G. Krishnan. Great. They are resources that are free for us from Mary Joy. Let's see, so many great responses. The resources available free of cost to use from ANSA. Great. New free to access from Zaya, available for everyone anytime from, I'm not sure because those are difficult letters for me in a different language. Learning resources. Adnan says resources that are open to be used or adopted anywhere. We can use these resources outside of the course from Vin. Easy to find and you can access anywhere. All right, so those are some great responses, Caitlin. What do you think?
Absolutely. It sounds like so many people have experience with OER already. The open educational resources in this MOOC are materials and content that you can reuse, revise, redistribute, and adapt in any way for your particular context. So as you are taking the course, you can always feel free to download any of the materials to use in your classrooms or educational settings for your future use. It's very exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Now let's take a look at the module topics for the 5 modules in this course. They are purposeful assessment, collecting and using data, alternative assessment, student engagement, and making assessment fun. We'll explain the content of these modules in a moment, but before we do that, let's hear from you again. Which module do you think will be the most important for you?
Yeah, what do you think, everybody? These look like some exciting, really interesting topics. Sorry, my screen. But which one would be most important for you or most interesting to you? What do you think? Would you like to let's see. So Janita says making assessment fun. Great. Michelin says purposeful assessment. Alternative assessment from Asus. Student engagement from Chuwing. And making assessment fun from Rose and also from Bayana. Amigo Mahmoud says student engagement. And Hend also says making assessment fun. So great. We're glad that you're excited about some of these wonderful topics for the MOOC.
Absolutely. Now let's take a look at each of the modules more in depth. Module 1 is titled Purposeful Assessment. This module will examine what makes a meaningful assessment. It will discuss a series of assessment ideas that can be used and adapted to fit the needs of different types of students. And it will talk about the real challenges that English language educators like yourselves often have to face when deciding which type of assessment is the best for your particular context. Module 2 is titled Collecting and Using Data. This module will help teachers understand how they can collect and use classroom data to aid in helping students achieve learning outcomes in their course. As educators, we all want to ensure that students are learning what we are teaching, and being able to measure that and then use that to inform our instruction is so important. This module will help you think about the concept of backward design and planning with the end in mind. And it will cover summative and formative assessments, helping you think critically about how to use the data you collect in a way that ensures the instruction is effective in achieving these outcomes. Module 3 examines several different types of alternative assessments. In this module, you'll first learn how teachers can use cooperative learning, which is an instructional strategy that utilizes group work, to facilitate alternative assessment in the EFL classroom. This module also talks about the benefits of using portfolios to alternatively assess students, and wraps up with an overview of using self-assessment for evaluation purposes. As you might already know, there are so many ways to assess students in your classroom other than a simple test or quiz, and this module helps you as educators explore some of those methods more in depth. Module 4 is all about increasing student motivation and engagement, especially in the context of assessment. Participants in this module will read about motivating students by modifying evaluation methods used and incorporating reflection components and I can statements to help their students take control of and assess their own knowledge gain. This module also presents a fun, engaging idea called individual assessment cards that you can use in your classroom to help train students to adopt their own efficient learning strategies. And finally, Module 5 is all about making assessment fun for your students. This module will offer some unique and engaging alternative methods for review and assessment that will take some of the crippling stress and anxiety of a test off your students and transform it into a learning experience that will be both fun for them and useful for you to assess their knowledge. In this module, participants will read about an example of how to make test preparation fun by converting it to a game format, and will briefly discuss using peer feedback and responses to help engage one another. After all, we know as teachers that sometimes the best feedback and the feedback that our students listen to the most can come from their peers. Now that we've talked about each of the module topics, let's look now at the format that each module will follow. Each module will consist of a video that introduces the topic of the module, 2 to 3 short articles that will help you dive deeper into the learning of the module, and then a few opportunities for you to demonstrate your knowledge. There will always be a short quiz that tests participant knowledge of the articles and video content, 1 or 2 discussions that will help you think more deeply about the content area and share those thoughts and ideas with peers around the globe, and then an opportunity to cascade your knowledge within your own context and share about your experiences so that others can learn from you as well. Remember, this is a course in which there will be participants from all over the world, so you will really get the chance to engage with other English language educators. Each module culminates in the creation of one portion of an overall project toolkit, in which participants will have the opportunity to choose one or more kinds of assessment that was discussed in the module, compare it to their current teaching practice or teaching context, and make improvements. The project itself is a journey, so each module will consist of adding a new idea to the project toolkit and essentially redesigning an assessment for your classroom. By the end of the course, your project will have a clear learning goals for your students or trainees, a plan of action and a set of tools, a timeline, and a way to measure the results or the impact of your project. Now, I briefly mentioned cascading new knowledge, but what is it really? Let's find out what you think. What do you think cascading new knowledge means in the context of an open program course?
Yeah, what do you think, everybody? What do you think this term or this phrase is referring to? Cascading new knowledge. Maybe you're already familiar with this phrase, or maybe it's new for you. What do you think? And maybe what would you think in terms of this course or this open program course in general? So let's see. How can we cascade new knowledge, or what does cascading new knowledge mean? Melchor says sharing it with your colleagues. Great. What else? Oh, I see a wonderful picture from our dear friend Romualdo from a MOOC camp. Wonderful. Sharing knowledge with other teachers from Orjinkad. Great. Sharing insights learned with colleagues from Marky. Khalid says simply sharing. Sharing your learning to your learning community from Michelin. Juan Alejandro says, in my opinion, cascade could be knowledge that will come in stages. Very interesting. Great thought there. And Yusuf says sharing with others through discussions. So those are great responses. What do you think, Caitlin?
Absolutely. As many of you have said, in education, cascading is often used to describe a way of sharing knowledge and experience among professionals. So for example, after attending a professional development event and learning new approaches, some teachers may teach other teachers what they learned. And that could be you. It sounds like it already is in some cases. One of the most exciting parts of an open program course is the ability to take the knowledge you gain and share it with others. There are two main reasons for cascading new knowledge. First, you increase the course impact by sharing it with others who might not be able to take this MOOC at this particular time, although we do hope you'll share with them how to sign up. Second, it helps double your own learning. You know, I'm sure from your own experiences that explaining something to students helps push you to think deeper and harder about that concept and reorganize your knowledge. So doing those two things helps you improve your own understanding as well. Cascading new knowledge can look like many different things depending on your role, your location, and your context. It can be something as simple as grabbing a coffee with your colleague after work and sharing with them what you learn in the MOOC, or as complex as leading a training or a workshop or a MOOC camp in your school, city, or region. Whatever or however you share the knowledge is up to you. But one of the things I love about this course so much is that it will push you to think about ways that you can be intentional about cascading new knowledge and sharing it with others. Each module contains a cascading new knowledge discussion where you will have the opportunity to write about sharing that module's content with a colleague or peer. You'll get to reflect on your experiences, talk about who you shared the knowledge with and what content you shared, why you decided to share that knowledge, and what you think will happen in the future. As you all know, reflection is a key part of education. And by intentionally taking the time to not only practice sharing information with others, but also reflecting on the process by which that happened, we can ensure that we are continuously growing. And who knows, maybe you'll even find new professional development opportunities because of this. Another exciting aspect of this course that I mentioned are the discussion boards. These are the primary means of engagement in our asynchronous course, so we highly recommend that you complete them. Not only do we want you to practice engaging with the content and sharing your thoughts, but we want you to be able to comment on and offer feedback on others' posts as well. Think of these as mini cascading opportunities right within the course. Not only will you have the unique opportunity to engage with others in the discussion boards, but you'll have some rock star alumni facilitators giving feedback and offering unique insights into the course as well. These 8 alumni facilitators have previously taken the regional course and were identified as high-performing alumni because of their commitment to successfully completing the coursework, their digital literacy skills, and their English language proficiency. Engaging in the discussion boards, while optional, will allow you to interact with them. And as you can see, there are even a few of them on this call. So if you are an alumni facilitator for the Assessment for English Language Learners MOOC, please take a moment to say hi in the chat. And for the rest of you, stick around to find out how you could become an alumni facilitator in the future. Another unique aspect of the discussion boards is a self-reflection rubric, which will help ensure that you are answering all the questions carefully and thoughtfully. Because there may be thousands of participants in this course, instructors like myself can't personally respond to every post. Although you won't receive a grade for the discussion, this allows you to take learning into your own hands to ensure that you are making the most of this incredible learning opportunity. Now let's talk about the required tasks per module. There are 3 required tasks in each module, which means that in order to successfully complete the course, you will need to complete all of these tasks. Of course, we recommend that in order to get the most out of your MOOC, you complete all the tasks. We do understand that sometimes time is short, and we still want you to be able to successfully earn your certificate and badge. First, there is a video that starts each module. This video outlines the topic for the module and provides a brief introduction to the module topic. For example, in Module 4, when learning about student engagement, the video that will introduce this topic is all about fostering student motivation and engagement, specifically when talking about assessment. Other video topics in the course consist of making meaningful assessments, backward design and alignment of assessments, alternative assessments, and how to incorporate games into the classroom, especially when reviewing content or assessing student knowledge around a topic. Let's show our students that assessment can be fun. Now, videos can sometimes be a concern for participants in low bandwidth environments, but not to worry. All videos in this course are less than 5 minutes long, which should make them a bit easier to load. And if not, all videos are accompanied by a downloadable transcript, which means you can read the contents of the video offline if that's easier for you. Regardless of where you are in the world, you'll still be able to access the content presented in the videos, which means that you will have everything you need to successfully complete the course. Each module also consists of 2 to 3 readings for further, more detailed learning around the module topic. These readings come from the English Teaching Forum and American English, 2 platforms that offer incredible materials and resources for English language professionals. Plus, like I mentioned earlier, they are all openly licensed, which means you can use them and reuse them and adapt them for your context afterwards freely. The readings include background information, case studies from assessment use in different contexts, articles about different kinds of assessment, and even a few example activities that you can try in your own classroom. And we want to hear from you. So if you do try something out in your classroom, be sure to share it in the discussion board so that others can learn from you. Finally, there are short comprehension checks after the video and reading in each module that will test your knowledge. But don't worry, you can take the quizzes as many times as you want, and you'll always have the materials available in Canvas to go back and check your work. We want this to be a learning process for you as well. Now that we've talked about the required tasks per module, let's look at the optional tasks that can help further your learning and give you a chance to engage with others in a meaningful way. We've already talked about discussion boards, so I won't mention much else here other than it is an optional task. Obviously, we do hope that you will contribute to the discussion and use the self-assessment rubric to ensure that you have thought carefully about your responses before posting. Plus, by posting and engaging with others, you'll have a chance to interact with our esteemed alumni facilitators who bring a wealth of knowledge and experience to this course. In addition to that, these alumni facilitators will be identifying weekly best posts from the thousands and thousands of participants who are going to be in the course. Make sure you complete as many discussion boards as possible with high quality posts for a chance to be featured in the weekly announcements. And who knows, you could also earn the chance to be an alumni facilitator for a future open program MOOC. Now let's hear from you. What do you like about discussion boards?
Yeah, what do you think, everybody? Those, it sounds really exciting to possibly be featured in those best posts for the discussion boards during the MOOC. But what are some things that you really like about discussion boards? Let's see, Danny is asking if this course is free, and yes, it is. Great, but what else do you think about discussion boards? What are some things that you like? I saw a comment earlier from Romaldo about how it gives us an opportunity to share ideas no matter where we are in the world, so that's great. Let's see, Amigo says, I like that we can learn from each other. Great. Christine says the sharing of experiences. Peling says gathering different ideas. Zara says, I like discussion board as I like writing and collaboration. Wonderful. Anna says it's a good way for brainstorming and to know the precious ideas of my colleagues from Hyro. Let's see, new ideas might crop up from G. Krishnan. And to gain insights from other English teachers from Dream Rose. Wonderful. Thank you for those great responses, everybody.
Yeah, thank you for sharing them. It sounds like the discussion boards in this MOOC are going to be very active and very engaging. The next optional task is cascading new knowledge, which we also talked about earlier in this presentation. Like I previously mentioned, each module will contain a cascading new knowledge discussion where you will have the opportunity to write about sharing that module's content with a colleague or peer. You'll get to reflect on your experiences, talk about who you shared the knowledge with and what content you shared, how you shared it, why you decided to share that knowledge, and then what you think will happen because of it in the future. And finally, the purpose of the project toolkit assignment in each module is so that you can choose one or more kinds of assessment that you want to improve in your local teaching or training context. Throughout the course, each module, you will have an opportunity to add a new idea to your project toolkit after reading and learning about the module topic. You'll choose a topic in your course that you'd like to create an assessment for, describe your learning context, plan out your learning goals and means of evaluation, choose some potential assessment solutions, and discuss how you will motivate students throughout their review of your course's content. Now, after all this knowledge about the MOOC contents, we hope that you are very excited to join the course. The only thing more exciting than joining an open program MOOC is completing it. We want to make sure that you are equipped with everything you need to be successful. Before I share some of the open programs tips for success, let's hear your ideas. How can you be a successful MOOC participant?
Yeah, what do you think, everyone? What do you think are some good pieces of advice that you can share or that you can think of for yourself or others to be a successful MOOC participant? What do you think? What ways can you be successful in an online course or a MOOC? Let's see, Magdalena says you can share your ideas. Great. Michelin says having proper time management, wonderful. Participate and read a lot from Christine, great. What other tips for success would you give to our community here today? Participate actively from Dimple Kumar. Being constant and responsible from Juan Alejandro. Commitment from Magdalena. Do all the work on time from Joe. And it's important to organize time wisely from Silvina. Let's see, anything else? We can learn from others, that's true. Providing feedback for each other. And active, participants should be active and have time management from Joggle. So wonderful, thanks for those great responses.
Kate, it sounds like we have some very dedicated and determined participants about to take this MOOC. I cannot wait. So in addition to everything that was just mentioned, we have some advice for you as well. To get the most out of your MOOC, first, be as engaged as possible. Statistics show that learners get more out of their online courses if they actively participate in discussions. That, of course, makes sense because as you interact with people all around the world, you'll begin to see similarities in your teaching contexts and make connections to different classrooms. The MOOC will have thousands of participants, which will give you almost endless possibilities to interact and connect with others. So take this opportunity to learn from one another. You'll also want to set aside time just for this course. In the midst of very busy schedules, it's always a good idea to set aside a specific study time each week and make this a time that you honor and commit to as you move through the 5 modules. Use the course syllabus to help you plan your work around other important professional and personal events in your life. Next, think about your goals. What do you want to get from your course? Maybe you want to improve your classroom learning environment. Maybe you want to learn new methods of assessment for your students. Maybe you want to receive a promotion with your new skills. Whatever the goal is, write it down and focus on it during the course. Next, use the downloadable handouts and resources that are provided in the course. All of the modules you will work through in your course will have offline versions as well. You can use these by downloading them at the beginning of the module and reading them offline. This will help you succeed in your course, even if you might have less than reliable internet access at times. You should treat your time in this course just as you would your time in a physical classroom. So do your best to complete all work, participate actively in discussions, and finish your project toolkit. You will also want to make sure you save copies of your work and the class materials so that you can use these in your classroom and share them with others long after the course is finished. Online learning allows you to be responsible for your own success. So ultimately, it's up to you to stay organized, manage your time, ask questions, and complete all coursework by July 26th. And so if you follow all of these tips for advice, you'll receive a digital badge and certificate. Badges are visual representations of academic achievement, and they can be shared across the internet. Badges can be displayed on many platforms such as blogs, websites, professional networks, job applications, social media sites, and email signatures. So when you complete this course successfully, be sure to share your accomplishments with your networks. And don't forget to download your certificate as a reminder of all your hard work. Now that's all the information I can give you now about assessment of English language learners. To get more details and learn how to choose and implement different kinds of assessment in your classes, be sure to enroll in the course that starts on May 3rd so that you can learn and share your expertise along thousands of learners around the world. Thank you so much for your time and engagement in the chat box. And now I'll turn it back over to Kate, who will open the floor for questions.
Thank you so much, Caitlin, for that really wonderful presentation about this exciting new MOOC. I see lots of people who are telling us that they are already enrolled. So please, we'd love to see that, as many people who want to write in the chat box or the comments that you are enrolled. We would love to see that. So feel free to share that with us if you have enrolled already. Great. And so I would like to see if anyone has any questions before we wrap up today. It looks like Catherine has enrolled. That's wonderful. So has Christine. Wonderful. I have a couple of quick questions that I noticed in the chat box at different times. So was just wondering, I'm just going to ask a few quick questions, which first one is for you, Caitlin. Is this course free?
Absolutely. It's free on Canvas Network.
Wonderful. And how much time do participants have to complete the course materials?
So there's 12 weeks total to complete all the materials, and there's 5 modules, and each module will take about 3 to 5 hours of work. But you can complete that on your own time and at your own pace, as long as all of that content is completed by July 26th.
Great. And are the resources in the MOOC downloadable?
Yes, all resources in the MOOC are downloadable PDFs. There's module packets that contain all the content for the module. And then there's individual resources as well, like the readings and the video transcripts available.
Great. And it looked like we had a nice comment from Adnan, who I know has taken many courses with us before, and it says, the most amazing part is that you can download the whole module if you want to study offline. So that's a great, thank you for reiterating that for us, Adnan. Wonderful. Let's see if there are any other questions I'm seeing. Let's see, Alina says enrollment done. Enza says already enrolled. Wonderful. All right, I don't believe I see any other questions at this time. So I think we will go ahead and wrap up. Thank you again, Caitlin, for that wonderful presentation today. I know I'm even more excited about this MOOC than before, and I see lots and lots of people sharing their thanks and excitement for this course. And as always, we'd also like to thank you, our audience, for your wonderful participation and engagement in today's session. We look forward to seeing you at the MOOC or in the MOOC very soon when it begins on May 3rd. We hope that you'll enroll today. And please continue to share your thoughts and ideas here on the American English for Educators Facebook page. So thanks again, everybody. We will be wrapping up now, but please continue to share your comments, and we'll see you all very soon. Thanks.